Welcome once again to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. As always, I thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, which hopefully you do find informative. And when you create your must-buy reading list, you will consider adding this book to that list. And the book of the day is Her Deadly Game by Robert Dugoni. This is published by Thomas and Mercer, and it retails for $23.99. Robert Dugoni is no stranger to quality mystery thriller fiction. His other series, Tracy Crosswhite, Charles Jenkins, and David Sloan, are all bestsellers, very well received. Now we can add another character, and I'm sure this is not the only book that he's considering. It's definitely a standalone book, but I'm sure the character of Keera Duggan will return in future works of fiction that Robert Dugoni does write. Keera Duggan, she is a lawyer. She worked for the prosecution. In fact, she worked with a gentleman by the name of Miller Ambrose, and the two were very close. In fact, they were actually lovers. And so she broke away from him, and now she is working for her father. Her father, Patrick Duggan and Associates, is a noted law firm. But Patrick Duggan has fallen on, well, let's say hard times, because he has lost the battle of the bottle. And rather than have his, worry about his law firm, he's worried about his next drink. So it has caused a lot of tension within the family. Now, Keera decides to come to help him because he gets a call from a gentleman, Vince LaRussa, who has been charged with murdering his wife. His wife, Anne, who was confined to a wheelchair after a tragic automobile accident a few years ago, is found dead. She is shot in the back of the head. Now, the question is, as we ponder, did someone murder her, or could she somehow have committed suicide? Now, the fact remains, she really couldn't have great use of her limbs. Now, her hands were sort of gnarled with age and maybe arthritis. So, as we find out, the night that she was murdered or suicide, two people went to visit her. Two friends, actually, earlier in the evening, a man and a woman. And according to them, Anne was alive when they both left. Now, the husband, Vince, was at a big gala event, a fundraiser that night. And he says that when he came home, he found her dead. The gun was still in the kitchen. So, because he's charged, he contacts Patrick Duggan and Associates law firm, but Patrick decides to get his daughter to be part of his Vince LaRussa's defense team. Now, she normally in the past worked for the prosecution, but like I said, she left the gentleman that she was with before, and now she works for her father. So she studies the case, and she thinks that Vince LaRussa is innocent. But as time goes by, there are a lot of questions, more questions than answers, and she ponders. Now, she gets mysterious correspondence from a gentleman by the name of Jack, who calls himself Jack Worthing, and he makes comments about the case. So she has other things to ponder now. Now, she's also a chess lover, and she's in a big virtual chess tournament with someone called the Dark Knight. And it's an interesting part of the book because it's almost like Keera is a pawn in this court trial. So it's those who like courtroom books, and they're very popular, of course. Who can forget Scott Turow and Lisa Scottolini and John Grisham? They write top-line legal thrillers. Now, you can add Robert Dugoni to that list because Sometimes courtroom trials are boring and they just drag on. It's like, let's get to the next page, let's get to the end of the book. But not with Robert Dugoni. He's written it in such a way that we're so unsure whether Vince LaRussa is the killer that we feel compelled to turn every page. And as Keera starts to ponder, did he kill his wife? That's when it gets very, very interesting. And as she finds out, she has suspicions, and they are well-founded suspicions. So by book's end, and it's close to 400 pages, but it does not seem like 400 pages because you just keep reading. You got to keep turning the pages because it's so well written. Of course, anyone who's read a Robert Dugoni book in the past knows that he excels at excellent writing with great characterization, which is what you'll find in Her Deadly Game. And as I mentioned, hopefully this is the first Keera Duggan book, and she will be back because she's a fascinating character. She's had an interesting life and interactions with people, so we want to see her again. Let's hope this is not a one-and-done book, because bring back Keera. So that's the book I wanted to draw to your attention today. Hopefully, when you go to your local bookstore, you will consider purchasing it, and I hope you will let me know if you do agree with my review. So, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. We will be back. Stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I will see you at the bookstore. Thanks again. Bye for now.